Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining our first S-Drive webinar of this year. It is great to see that there are many S-Drive enthusiasts to get to learn more about our solutions and the latest news. Thank you for your interest. Today our speaker and the president at Sciengate, Bülent Dogan, is going to cover the details of S-Drive Microsoft Office integration. And in addition to this, we have a demo section of it that Mr. Bülent is going to provide a better understanding. At the end of the webinar, there is going to be a question and answer session to clarify your questions. So please don't hesitate, raise your hand to speak or write down your further questions or comments to the chat. And please let me remind you that the chat page is going to be available during the webinar to ask questions, interact, contribute, and mention important points. So from now on, Mr. Bülent Dogan is going to continue with the presentation.
Thank you. So in our webinar today, we have a quick agenda. It's not going to take the whole hour, potentially. We will leave a long time to the questions, but we will talk about, in general, our core features initially. Just quickly mention that for people who have not seen S-Drive or may not have worked in S-Drive so far, but I see very familiar faces on the call, so most of our existing customers are also joining. Then we will talk about Office integration, then I will jump into the demo, and we will also talk about our roadmap in this webinar. We will give you an idea of what is coming up and what did we achieve in 2021. We were pretty busy and we were quiet in 2021. We did not do many webinars, so we will slowly do more webinars this year to introduce what we have actually released in 2021, because it was a really busy year with lots of features, lots of new releases. We will also mention our partner program for any of our partners who might have joined our call. Then we will open it up for questions. So our core features, as most of you might be familiar, is that we enhance the document management experience in Salesforce. Some of you might also consider that as file management. We talk about document management, but at the same time, a lot of our customers use it in general for files, especially around case files. And what we do with S-Drive is we leverage Amazon's secure file storage service, which is called S3, and we use Salesforce natively to track all these files that are stored on Amazon, eliminating many of the limitations and adding great features as unlimited storage, records management, case management, folder structures, API support, public sharing features to the Salesforce platform. And all these features, I think folder structure is the one that most people love and they want to continue to use it. Within Salesforce, there are limitations about folder structures or no support of folder structures, but our solution enhances just that usability feature with many powerful behind the scenes features, such as flexibility to add menu items on the screen, to do customizations with our APIs and integrations, to also manage large files on the platform with unlimited storage, because we can store as many files as you want. And at the same time, we can handle very large files through our features such as Amazon acceleration, file transfer acceleration, or we can simply handle files that are, in general, 10 to 20 gigs every day. We handle these files, but we have no limit as long as you have the patience to upload a 30 gig, 50 gig file, we can handle that. Our theoretical limit is 5 terabytes per file, but we haven't seen that big of a file yet. But our customers are typically uploading 10 to 20 gig files into our system. We also have features such as records management for retention policies that clean your content after a certain amount of time to be compliant. And I'll also talk about our roadmap later, or here, that shows us what we have added and we are about to release in 2022 or 2021 that will give you a lot more features than what you have expected. So in 2021, what we faced an issue with our public shares because Salesforce made a change. We realized that we have essentially lost our guest user access, and the guest user access was the mechanism we were using to do public shares from your own Salesforce instance. So we switched that with an innovative approach with a single user community that we built. You can now do new SURLs, which are public share URLs, where we track all the activity. You can use those just to give download permission to users outside of your organization without having to have Salesforce access. But at the same time, you can also collaborate with them by allowing to upload files, download files, even delete files. You can create public workspaces to share content with your partners, customers, or even prospects. In the second quarter, we added a feature that facilitates improving workflows that go hand in hand with Amazon storage. So we can now sync some of the metadata. It's all configurable that is in Salesforce into Amazon as metadata on the files. This was needed by several of our customers where they have actually implemented workflows on the Amazon file layer to be able to make decisions and automate certain activities based on this metadata. We also can now organize Amazon storage by automatically assigning prefixes to where the files are stored. So you can decide case files can go under cases folder, and for example, opportunities can go under opportunities, or depending on your business needs, you can come up with different folder structures. These are all automated and configurable from the system. In Q3, our biggest release was the Office 365 integration, which is what we are going to talk about today. As you can see, we are lagging on our webinars just because we were very busy adding more and more features. We had we had a lot of work on the security improvements. We are actually improving our security every day and adding more and more features in terms of features that are both securing the system, adding additional security, but at the same time within the system, we also improve our sharing experience. We went through and looked at how we are handling sharing, and we made sure that it is intuitive and people can share within the system the content very easily and without having to do a lot of manual work. So we added those in Q3. In Q4, we have also improved our, again, this is related to security, but improved flexibility on the storage side to allow our customers to use their own managed keys. So these managed keys are either applied at the bucket level, or you can use Amazon provided features of key management. So always when you upload your files with S Drive, they are encrypted on the server. However, with this feature, you can have more flexibility to supply your version of the server-side keys. And that is in our Q4 release. In the new year, let's talk about what we are planning. And some of these are about to be released, actually. And some of them have actually released. So in Q1, we are adding multilingual support, which means you can provide translations to your labels, to the user interface, and you can support globally your customers, your users within the Salesforce platform, either on communities or within the Salesforce instance. We are also making improvements to the user interface. These are all coming as feedback from our customers. We handle wrapping of the columns with Lightning. The space got tighter for our component to display all the information. So we are adding column header wrappings and width of our columns on the screen on our component to be configurable. We are also improving cut and paste feature to cut and paste in Lightning for folders. One thing I want to mention when I saw this in Lightning, what we have decided is that we are investing in Lightning only going forward, which means we are going to maintain our classic features for our existing customers. For some time, we don't actually have new customers that are on classic. Most people who adopt Salesforce are on Lightning, and many of our customers are slowly switching to Lightning. However, we do have customers that are still on Classic, and we want to maintain that for them. So we are still maintaining the Classic. We are fixing bugs. We are, if you see big problems in terms of usability, we improve those. But any new feature that we work on will be only on Lightning. We made that decision in the middle of 2021, and we will be applying that going forward. So it's not, we can release features faster. We don't have to invest on both sides because the number of classic customers that we have is getting very small. So we encourage everyone. I know there are lots of effort on your side to move to Lightning, but you should consider S-Drive to leverage these features, especially what we are going to show today. You should actually be on Lightning platform. And we also have a very significant feature in 2021, which is multiple buckets storage. So this is for compliance reasons. This is about to be released. We are doing the final tests. And what this feature will allow you is that you will be able to configure the system based on business logic to store your content in different buckets. What this may allow you is if you're a US company, but customers in Europe, and per European regulations, their data should not leave Europe, you can actually configure Salesforce within Salesforce S-Drive to keep their data, their files within Europe, so that you're not getting them into a situation where they are not compliant with the rules anymore. Even you can choose to keep your files closer to your users. So you can have a bucket in West Coast and one in East Coast in US, and leverage this feature saying that people uploading files from the East Coast office should stay close to East Coast, and people uploading files from West Coast should stay on West Coast. It doesn't mean that they can't access other files. It's just giving a convenience and speed to get the files to the buckets, to the storage. You can also use this for internal cost centers. You can split them into buckets to see the different costs and association of that cost. What is next in our roadmap is we are planning to do a SharePoint integration. This will allow you to maintain your files in SharePoint and still access them through S-Drive within Salesforce. Currently, we only support uploading files that are within SharePoint into S-Drive by using the Files Connect. But what we are planning to do is a full integration into SharePoint. We will also be applying some maintenance fixes, improvements to the UI, some backend improvements, performance improvements. So those are all going to be periodically done throughout the year. So issues that you guys have reported us. We are tracking them, we are prioritizing them, and we are adding them into these periodic maintenance releases. And we are also going to be working on a PDF integration, and this means that without downloading your PDF files, you will be able to open up your PDFs and save them as smaller chunks of PDFs without having to use a PDF editor. This is useful for workflows when you are processing incoming PDF files and you need to split those, because it's easy to scan everything at once and have a giant document, but this will allow you to split that and send it to the appropriate places accordingly. In Q3, we will improve our compact view. We will add more to our PDF function. And in Q4, our plan is to add Google storage option. Some of our customers are moving from Amazon to Google, and we want to support them. And we are also going to improve our Lightning upload. Currently, within Lightning, we are still using Visualforce pages, and this is causing our drag and drop to be sometimes problematic. So what we are planning to do is move all our components to Lightning, our configuration pages potentially to Lightning, depending on the timing. But this will move us completely into Lightning. Again, still supporting our classic customers. But at some point, we will assess our current customers and make the decision. We don't want to leave any customers behind, but we will make the decision to move to Lightning permanently and drop our classic. But that decision, that there is no definite time for that, and we will be surveying all our customers to make sure that we don't leave anyone behind. All right, so this is our Microsoft Office integration, and the integration is essentially for ease of use of your files. So if you are within Salesforce and you want to edit a Word document, the current or previously, what you would do is you will download the file, open it in your Word application, modify it, then put it back into the system. That is too many steps, and it also leaves your files on your desktop hanging, and for compliance reasons, for security reasons, you may not actually want that. So what we realize is that we can easily integrate into online Office products, and simply a question came in, when does the quarters, related to the roadmap going back, the quarters start fiscal year. So every 3 months within the year, we start the quarter. That's how our Q1, Q2, Q3 is set up, calendar year. So with the Office integration, we can do easily assign only a handful of people, whoever is going to do content authoring. You don't have to pay for every single person as a license, but you will be able to select certain people who do content authoring to be able to open up their Office files, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint directly within the cloud, work in that environment, and it will automatically save it back into S Drive, keeping versioning also within the system. So I'll quickly jump into the demo. So to do that, nope, I think it goes Chrome. All right, this is our demo environment. In this demo environment, what I would like to do is go into opportunities. We have our S Drive, we have our opportunities. So inside opportunities, what I would like to do is create a new opportunity. And as I do this, I will show you some of custom features that you may implement in your system, just to give you an idea. It's not all about Microsoft Online editing, but I'll talk about some of the other things that you might be able to do. It may be giving you different ideas. So this is an opportunity, and we have 2 record types, manufacturing, retail. I'll pick manufacturing. I'll add an opportunity for HVAC basement edition. Maybe this is an opportunity for a company to add an HVAC system. I'll pick a company and then I'll close this on the 25th. And I am at the qualification stage. So when I save this, this opportunity is immediately created. But what you should notice is that we have 3 folders already created. So this was done in the system as a trigger behind the scenes. But because we are native, these are fairly easy things to do. You can also do the same thing with Flow. We used to say Process Builder, but everybody's moving to Flow. So you can also use flows to create these folders very easily without writing any code. These are just records that we create. If you need more information about those, you can open a ticket with us. We can help you how to do these. So if you have specific folder structures that you want to create based on new opportunities or new accounts being created to help you with your workflows, you can actually do that very easily from here. And I will go into one of these folders and I will drag some files in here. So I have these 3 files that I selected. They're all Word document, PowerPoint, and Excel, just to give you an idea. I will do the drag and drop. So this is where drag and drop should show my drop zone, but it didn't. But it actually worked. I saw the drag zone show up. Maybe I was on the screen. So the first time it shows you a drop zone. So here is another custom, it's configuration. You can add a custom field to assign custom values for document type. You can create any field as long as it's not a rich text type of field. We support checkboxes, dates, pick lists. So you can actually have all these fields placed on upload and also on edit pages and display them on the screen as well. So if I click upload, these files are one by one sent to Amazon and records are created inside Salesforce as S-Drive works. This is nothing new. This is what we had since 2008. The files are now inside Amazon and you can see them inside Salesforce. We are configured here to generate previews. It takes a little bit of time for the previews to be generated, but what I would like to do is I only have, if I go to my previous versions, I only have a single version of this file that I just uploaded. I would like to edit this file. And I have a new menu option called Open in Microsoft Word. This menu option shows up only if you have the license as a user to access this feature. So open in Microsoft Word, and this end user agreement shows up. Then a pop-up window will actually display the Word document. It will load up Office Online and allow you to modify the document directly. So at this point, you have the full online Word features available to you. So what I will do is I will add a paragraph here. This is for my proposal. I'm making stuff up, but please sign. And I don't need to save. Click on a save button. It is automatically saved. You have all the features. You can do highlights. You can change the color. You can do everything that you want here as you would on Office. There are some differences from the desktop application, obviously, but these are not related to us, but they are more related to the Microsoft features. We have seen, for example, automatically generated content from Kanga to leave some spaces online, but not on the desktop application. So you can actually use this in your workflows where you can automatically generate Kanga or other CPQ type of products to generate proposals for you. Then you can edit them online, modify them, and save them. So it automatically saved. All I need to do is close the screen, and this triggers Microsoft to realize that the file has been closed. Now it should be uploaded back into S drive. So during that time, what we did was we locked the file and indicated that somebody is editing this file. So others will see this lock and they will be aware that somebody is modifying this. Currently, we do not support the collaborative editing of files. We will as we enhance the feature. And if I refresh the screen, you will see the lock disappears after a little bit of time. This means that everything was uploaded, everything is back in the system. If I go back to my previous versions, now I see two versions. And this allows me to say that this file is the latest and this file is a couple minutes earlier. If I go back, I went to the home, and I want to mention something. This is another new feature. You can see the folders are different icons now. These two folders are empty, but this has some files in it. So we actually now update the icon depending on if you have some files in it or not. So you don't have to click on it to see that there is no file. You can actually visually see that there are some files in this. This was also released in 2021, and it's available if you upgrade to the latest version from AppExchange. Going back in, let's show how it works with PowerPoint. I'll open up PowerPoint, and online PowerPoint opens up. Within here, I can change something and add prepared for Ondo, and then add a date, 02/11/2022, and make my change. This automatically saves it. I can close this. The same deal. It locks the file during that time. When I come back in, the lock disappears. If I look at my previous versions, you can see I have two versions now. Going back, what I would like to do is show you this thumbnail view. You can see that this is still being generated because it has a new version, but these two have the thumbnails. And if I click on them, I can also see my change, the red change I have done. This is my previous version. If you go to audit, we are not capturing any audit records apparently for this file yet, but you will see an audit history of who looked at it and those type of details. This is for Word. The same thing happens for PowerPoint and for Excel. We also generate a preview for Excel. And PowerPoint also completed. PowerPoint preview is also available with the latest change I added, and I can actually see what I changed online. So I didn't have to download, upload. Nothing has been saved on my machine. Everything has been handled on the cloud without adding too many clicks into the process. Same thing with Excel. You can easily open this in Excel. This pop-up comes out every single time, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, but this is mandated by Microsoft. This is part of our partnership. They have some rules in terms of integration, so we have to follow their rules. That user agreement is always displayed, so one additional click every single time. So maybe they don't want 16-inch pipe. I will change it to 14-inch, and that's cheaper. So let's make it $155. Everything gets updated on the cloud. It's saved. I can close this, and it shows within a couple seconds that it's updated. It's going to generate a preview also. We also added last year some features with previews. We have seen that some of our customers are uploading very large spreadsheets and very large documents, and unintentionally they were creating thousands of pages of previews for Excel documents. And you can probably relate to that. When you print an Excel document, if you don't pay attention, you suddenly end up with 100 empty pages. So what we have done is we have added in our configuration features that will limit the number of pages that can be generated from various types of documents. So you can control at the document level, whether it's PowerPoint, whether it's doc, or whether it's an Excel file, how many pages should be generated at max, or if it should even generate it. Some customers don't generate for PDFs, but they like to see it for PowerPoints. So you can control all those now with our additional configurations. So this essentially completes our demo for the Microsoft editing. What I will do is I will go back to my PowerPoint presentation. So there is additional pricing. Not everybody will use this feature, so we didn't want to bump up pricing for everyone because there's a significant amount of work. It took us about a year to build this. Lots of red tape to work with Microsoft integration platform to go through their security as well. And at the end, we decided to keep this pricing to the minimum. It's essentially $5 per seat per month. And this is sold currently in packs. We do have plans to change this to individual users so that you don't have to always buy in packs. But we do have an unlimited option at this point. So our pricing is subject to change. But our unlimited option is $1,000 per month. If you have 10,000 users or 5,000 users, it wouldn't matter at this point. If you sign up today, you'll be able to get this pricing and you'll be able to get unlimited users. We do plan to change the pricing because we did show this to a couple prospective customers and they wanted to be more, instead of packs, they wanted to go individual user level pricing. So they wanted to purchase 12 users, for example, and just pay for 12 instead of paying for 20 because they just went one user over. So we are going to be making some changes there. For our partners that are on the call, I want to mention something. We do have a partner program. You can also mention if you are a customer of ours and you work with a consulting company and you would like them to be familiar with S-Drive, we would love to work with them. You can encourage them as well. And what our partner program does is it allows our partners to become aware of our changes. We will be providing new training sessions for them. We will have another set of webinars started for our partners, and we do provide them additional income if they initiate the sale process. But the best thing for the partners is to help their customers to get better solutions, to get most out of the Salesforce platform. And they will also be able to engage with their customers at a different level by leveraging S-Drive component. So if you want to join us for our partner program, either go to our website or you can contact us. We can take you through the process and let us know if you have any questions about this. So now I am going to ask if you have any questions. I want to check the chat.
Thank you, Bülent. Now we have some questions, and the chat is still available for the questions. And we can start with the first question of Divya, asking that are multiple buckets included in the latest version, or does this feature come with additional cost?
It is included in the latest version. There is no additional cost, so you will be able to deploy this if you upgrade to the latest version. Maybe our team can correct me if it is not on AppExchange yet, but our plan is it is released, but our plan is to make sure that this might be first opened up to a couple customers that we know they need this. And Divya, you are one of them. We work with you very closely in many cases, so we would love to you to contact us if you can't see that feature on AppExchange. Because I'm not sure if we got it on AppExchange yet or not, but we are supporting that feature, and it's part of the core release, so it's part of the standard pricing. When there is another one, I think.
Yeah, the second question is that when do each of the quarters start?
Yeah, I answered this when I was talking. It was we follow the calendar year, January 1st. I'm gonna mess this up. April 1st, and then is it August 1st and October 1st. Did I get those right? Those are the start of the quarters. And we
Thank
will
you.
be announcing, we will be more communicating more about this during the pandemic, and during the last year we were focused on getting our releases out, but we will have a more frequent communication coming out of us to our customers, and we will do more webinars for each release.
Thank you for explanation. We have other question asking that how do users configure S-Drive Microsoft Office integration?
So this is configured easily from the backend. There is one additional configuration that needs to be done on the Azure side. So the authentication is handled through your Azure authentication also on top of Salesforce. So we do plan to make a change there. We may eliminate that at some point, but you add the users to an Azure group, giving them permission to use the integration. And within S-Drive, you provide them a permission set that allows them to have the menu available to them, and they can simply use that after that point. There is a couple steps involved in configuring this with Azure and passing keys back and forth. So those are all documented on our website, on our documentation site, and you will be able to go through that within, I would say, 30 minutes to an hour to complete that. The only difficult part might be the Azure configuration, but we do plan to eliminate that because it's adding maybe unintentional restrictions to the use of our system. Next question.
One last question. Can users edit in shortcut? Is it synchronized in the original file?
Yes, I personally haven't tested myself that scenario, but I believe when you edit the shortcut, the original file is versioned and stacked up. Unless our team can write back to the chat. Claire is saying this, the multi-bucket support is not yet on AppExchange. And then Amy's correcting me on the not August but July for the quarter start. And for the shortcuts, I believe you can use them, but I'm not sure. So I will ask my team to mention that in the chat. So if they can write that onto the chat, that will be great. And I can even test it, which is on the fly demo, which is typically not very good, but what I can do is I can come in here. I don't know if I have shortcuts enabled. Nope, I don't have shortcuts enabled. But let me go here and try that. Do you have any other questions?
There is one more new question, and the chat is still available for more questions. The last question is that can we see a version of the file before it was edited?
Can we see a version of the file? Yes, you mean before it was edited, meaning the previous version. Yes, if the file was previously uploaded into the system and you edit that file, the previous versions are always stacked underneath. So it will keep on tracking for each edit session that you open up, it will create a new version on top of that. So you can always go back to the previous version. And when you go back to the previous version, you can also see options to move it to the top. If you are not happy with the changes you made recently, you can always make the last version or the previous version to be the last version. So it will stack them on top of each other, and it will allow you to modify that stack and move things to the top of the stack. Any other questions?
Yes, we have one more question. Is it possible for digital experience users to use this feature?
So that's the communities. It is not at this point. The challenge with that is the Azure. I mean, you can use it, but we have locked it down because of the Azure component to it. So when you are adding the user to use this, you have to add it to a permission set. Even if you purchase the unlimited option, you have to still do one more step and add that user to the Azure user group. So the Azure user group is essentially making it almost unmanageable to use on the community. So we decided to lock down at this point for the communities. Once we remove the dependency to the Azure user group and manage this only within Salesforce, we will also open it up to community use. This will allow the use of the system outside for external users as well, the integration. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you, Bülent, for your answer. We're waiting for the new questions. The chat is still open for the questions. Please don't hesitate to ask any further questions.
All right. I will. Oh, there is one more item.
We have a new question right now. Is it possible to restore deleted files from the recycle bin with S Drive Microsoft Office integration?
Yes, it is. You can restore it. It doesn't really matter whether it's Microsoft integration or not, but there is no. It goes to the recycle bin, and at any point, if it wasn't removed from the recycle bin, you can restore it back in. It shouldn't be related. It is possible to do that. Any other before we close it?
For your explanation. As I see, we covered all the questions. So I can say thank you for your interest of the audience, and we appreciate that you registered for this webinar. And we hope it was useful to create a comprehensive view. Please follow us on our social media channels to get in touch and learn more about our latest news. Don't forget to visit our website to learn more, and stay tuned for the next webinar. Thank you again.
Thank you. Goodbye.